Hi, it's Stu, and I'm here for sort of an updated, refreshed um, TBR challenge. My TBR shelf I've added books to it. The prompt I used was kind of twofold. It is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And so I wanted to, I wanted to just use that as a factor of kind of curating which books under the prompt to pick, as I'm gotten to the point, my library is big enough that I have to be a little discerning. Like, I can't just take everything that is of that sort of prompt qualification. And I guess I'm going to think a little bit more about what that's going to look like in the future. But let's get through summer reading, where I'll be traveling, and it's just going to be a completely different ballgame first. In any case, some things have come off hold on the Libby shelf. I've already mentioned them. They're kind of shuffled in to the prompt, which is books with names in the title. There are a lot of books out there with names in the title, especially considering surnames and first names and maybe nicknames. So I, again, sort of thought about making sure that there are a couple Asian American or Asian translated, maybe Asian, there could be some Asian English or British as well. But anyway, authors. And also, I was thinking about, like, kind of making sure that there's newer ones that I'm super stoked because they're newer hauls, and then some stuff like making sure I'm looking through my shelves and taking off stuff that's been hanging around and maybe gathering a cobweb or two. Anyway, I'm going to do it in like 3 groups of 3, and I think that that's how I'm going to read these books. This is the first group, and I think I'm currently in the middle of Home Fire and think that I'm going to read Salt Houses to kind of edge out the end of, it actually is already May, but to finish up Arab American Heritage Month. And also Home Fire was they both were award winners. So those are what I'm into right now, are kind of the last challenge stuff. Moving on to the next books with the name in it. I have been waiting for this. This has been on my mind for a while. I was super stoked when I found it. This was a little free library find. This is also young adult, and I definitely want to find ways to get most, if not all, of my young adult off of my shelves in the next month or two, so that teens who are out looking for summer reading or looking in little free libraries have teen audience focused young adult reading to do. This is certainly one of those books. Darius the Great is Not Okay by Adib Khorram is Iranian American, and I think this is Tehran, and I again have just much anticipation for this book. I know I have a couple to get through. I have a couple books to get to before that, but this is so I'm so excited for it that I put it first, kind of in the next reading cycle, and it's fitting in multiple ways, right? The book I think that I'll read next is one that came off hold on my shelf, and I think I curated more than anything because of the color, but also I want and need to read it. It's been on my physical TBR for quite a while, and it was actually on the digital Libby hold shelf for a while, and it's come off, and I have now still like 14 days to read it. Looks like I'm going to get to it much sooner than that, but this is The Sun Walks Down by Fiona McFarlane, and this setting is in 1883 in a small town in South Australia. So this is historical fiction, and it takes place again in Australia. I believe McFarlane is an Australian author, and it's about it's a somewhat recent publication, 2022, but it's about there's a child that goes missing and kind of what happens around that. Kind of keeping in the vein of Australian authors, I believe Mickey Brammer is also an Australian author, and The Collected Regrets of Clover. I love this. I hauled this from a Little Free Library. In fact, my favorite Little Free Library, it has that stamp that my favorite Little Free Library comes with. But this book is got a name in the title, and this author is, you know, an Australian writer that's also based in New York and Spain and France. However, interesting enough, this is kind of roll into that too. I believe the setting of this is New York City. Just booked my ticket, so I will be in New York City at the end of this month. So I know that I wanted to curate some books where New York was the setting as well. So this kind of hits all of the places. It has a lovely leaf inside of it, which I'm going to keep there. That leaf stays with the book. So I believe this follows oh yeah, this is someone who can talk with the dead. Yeah, okay. All right. Anyway, our protagonist's name is Clover, and this is, yeah, will be read, I guess, somewhat soon, within the week, right? The next block of books are these, and The Overdue Life of Amy Byler gives really romance, and I think in this is a single mom, and I think that I'm going to relate in that way. She's also escaping in this book New York, Pennsylvania for New York. So now we have New York coming as a setting again. This obviously has a name in the title, and she's going on some blind dates, and again, yeah, kind of giving those romance vibes, right? This book is only physical copy, have lots of sunlight, have lots of plans to walk and sit in parks. So this book will kind of probably be read interspliced with the others because I don't have any digital or audio copy of this. It's just a physical copy. As it's romance, and as I've said my piece about that not being my jam, maybe it won't work for me. Something about it gives me hope, though. And it's hitting those, again, those kind of things that I'm looking for and reading in this month. The prompt, which is a name, and the setting of New York. The book I'm going to read after that, I believe, is Mercury Pictures Presents by Anthony Mara. This will be a welcome male author after reading several female authors, as we saw. The setting of this is LA. Yeah, I believe it's between Italy and LA, so back to the other side of the world. It says, oh, there's some World War II stuff going on in here. And at the bottom of the blurb says, as the bright lights go dark across Los Angeles, Mercury Pictures becomes the nexus of European imageries, modernist poets trying their luck at B-movie screenwriting, once celebrated architects becoming scale modelists, miniaturists, and refugee actors finding work playing the very villains they fled. Okay. Interesting enough, too, this is a signed copy. It's signed, and it says here, signed copy. I think, oh yeah, this, I believe, came from, this was sold at one of the local free independent bookstores that I'm familiar with. I think my plan for this book, it doesn't seem like it's really a super me book. But, you know, Celestine gives its blurb in the front, so I'm going to give it an honest chance. And when I'm done, I just see myself, this is a good donation to the Friends of the Library, where I'm now a member and get 2 free books once a week. So, yeah, that's my plan for that. the last book, so I guess the middle pile is kind of, I'm not so sure. We'll see. This was hauled very recently from my neighborhood little free library. It looks short and perhaps sweet. The title of this book is Dirty Diana, and I believe the premise of this book is something similar to, you know, the red car, colored television, all fours, which is a woman who doesn't feel fulfilled in her life, even though she did everything right and everything was in order. She's married, she had plans, and things just aren't going that way. So she starts making decisions that she never thought she would make, or that are a bit unlike her or seemingly unlike her. That's what I get from this. That's what I get from the little bit of the blurb I read. And I think that it could be fun. Dallas is the setting, and yay, I haven't been in Texas in a book since Playing with Boys. So I'm excited for that too. The next block of books are names with the and, or the, you know, ampersand and, okay. And I thought that was kind of fun. We have one in this block, one Asian American author, and protagonists as well. I talked about this before, Little and Lion. I said that April was Mental Health Awareness Month, but in fact it's May. Little and Lion feel like two nicknames. This is about two siblings, and so that fits in with names. It also fits well into mental health awareness month. The setting of this is Los Angeles with some time at a boarding school in New England. So got a couple LA books coming up. No surprise, LA is a setting a lot. The next one in this list is Fiona and Jane. This, I believe, Jean Chen Ho, if I'm not mistaken, is Taiwanese American. Let me confirm before I... Yeah, born in Taiwan and raised in Southern California, currently live in Los Angeles. So I believe these the two characters, Fiona and Jane, are also Taiwanese American. This is published in 2022. And it's stories told in alternating voices. Really love that. I haven't had that in a while. I like that, okay? And Fiona and Jane is an intimate portrait of friendship, a deep dive into the universal perplexities of being young and alive, and a bracingly honest account of two Asian American women who dare to stake claim on joy in a changing contemporary America. Yeah, okay. Super excited for that. And then the last one is of this like reading stack, which will be a week and a half at least of reading, is written by a beloved Seattle librarian. This book is George and Lizzie. As there's a lot of names of males crossed out, and then Lizzie, it gives somewhat of a romance situation. It says in the blurb, or in the synopsis, George and Lizzie have radically different understandings of what love and marriage should be. George was raised in a warm, loving family with an orthodontist father and a stay-at-home mom, while Lizzie grew up as the only child of two famous psychologists who viewed her more as an in-house experiment than a child to love. Over the course of their marriage, nothing has changed. George is happy. Lizzie remains unfulfilled. Kind of the dirty Diana sort of scenario. And perhaps overly preoccupied with the boyfriend who broke her heart years ago. With a shameful secret from Lizzie's past haunting her decisions, she'll need to face her fears and fixation with her ex in order to accept the true nature of the relationship she has with George, and that they built over a decade together. So, a look at marriage. A look at, in this case, in some of the others, the woman not being fully fulfilled, something being wrong. Seems like there's some, did I choose the wrong one scenario here. It also looks short and sweet. So I think this will be a fantastic way to end out the kind of general prompt of books with names in the title. I will be starting them this weekend, or at the end of the weekend, beginning of next week for sure, and just going until done. So a week and a half or two of reading should be fun.